This is Ron Edwards, Master Sommelier and Director of Wine Education for Winebow. I want to bring to your attention this awesome wine from Yalumba, the 46th offering of the Signature. This is the 2015 vintage. This is the classic representation from Yalumba of the Barossa Valley Cabernet Shiraz blend. It's been part of the valley for a very long time, and where Shiraz and Cabernet sort of got married the way Merlot and Cabernet did in Bordeaux. And it's been a very happy marriage. They really do work well together, where Cabernet can offer the bones and the structure, and Shiraz can be the flesh and the plushness of the wine. So this wine is 51% Cabernet Sauvignon and 49% Shiraz. The Cabernet Sauvignon is all sourced from Barossa and a little bit of Eden. So 5 vineyards in Barossa and 1 vineyard in Eden, and all the Shiraz comes from Barossa Valley itself. Interesting note here, and this is sort of the reflection of Yalumba as a winery. They're a winery of restraint, and so even though this is one of their top tier wines from the rare and fine collection, it still sees 18% new oak, which is a combination of French and Hungarian source, and the rest is in older barrels that they feel like are the right kind of way to age this kind of wine, to give it some oxidation over the course of time, and it's 22 months worth, but to not overweigh the flavor of the fruit with the infusion of the flavors of oak. I think that's great. So a little bit, I think that's the information you really need. So let's give it a try. So it leads with black currants, kind of crushed on the way to becoming conserve. Then there's black cherry and black plum and a fruit compote of sorts, sort of forest berries mingled together in a bowl, so to speak. And there is a ripeness to the nose where the fruit smells fairly lush. And then right underneath that is an aroma profile of cedar, as well as this sort of mint meets roasted red or green peppers. There's a little essence of bitter chocolate. And as the wine opens up a little bit, it gets into very fresh black currant, as well as the black currant leaf, definitely being driven by the Cabernet Sauvignon. Wine smells really inviting. It smells so balanced that it's actually a little difficult to pull the componentry apart. There's also a little bit of a sanguine note to it, just a smidge of like the smell of a rare steak as it hits the grill. Lives up to its billing, most definitely. There's a mouth-watering nature to this wine that's a little surprising until you look at the text sheet, where it balances out at basically 3.5 pH, which is much harder than you would expect, perhaps from Barossa Valley, but it really helps to balance out the richness of fruit and the warmth of the alcohol. So this wine has 3 phases. It has the refreshing side, the rich textured side, and then the warm, pleasing side. So the texture of this wine is in that just sort of light velvet feel moving towards satin. And the flavor profile is very, very similar to the nose, except that it's actually not as ripe when you taste it. It's fresh black currants, fresh blackberries and blueberries, definitely a fresh black plum sort of approach. The oak really mingles in very delicately. Considering the power of this wine, it's a little bit of vanilla extract, a little bit of cocoa powder or bittersweet chocolate, and just a smidge of that, baking spice like you would put in pie, cinnamon clove note. Let's see what the second taste reveals. No doubt that if you're watching this and you like Cabernet Sauvignon, this is a wine for you. It's bold and it's structured and it's got the grip you really want, but there's a lush, friendly second half to this wine brought in by the Shiraz. And there's just so much pleasure in this wine because it sort of impacts the palate and the nose in all areas. It's tart, it's rich, it's powerful, but it's deft. Really the typical mastery that you expect out of Yalumba with all of their rare and fine collection, where you think, wow, I forgot how great this wine is, that kind of experience. And a great testament to the idea that we cannot put the word Australia with a grape and expect to find the same thing over and over again. It just doesn't work that way. We really have to lean into producer and region, just like we do everywhere else. This wine is truly wonderful. I would love for you to go find a bottle. It's a great cellar selection. It will age very well for the next 15, maybe even 20 years. And if you are patient enough, I certainly am not. I'm going to enjoy mine now.